So does anybody here actually remember how crazy it was to see an iPhone 4's Retina display for the first time? Because I do. In 2010, Apple dropped the iPhone 4 with a 326 pixel per inch 960 by 640 3.5-inch display, and it was, at the time, the highest resolution display on a smartphone. And before anybody comments, yes, I know this is an iPod Touch, but it's the only thing I have with a Retina display that is pre-iOS 7, so just deal with it. For reference, previous iPhones did still have the same size display at 3.5 inches, but you had a much lower pixel density at 163 pixels per inch because these displays were only 320 by 480. And for anybody who plans on commenting about how Android probably had a higher resolution display first and then Apple just copied it later, that is actually not the case this time. One of the closest competing Android phones to come out in 2010 was the Motorola Droid X, and that did have a larger 4.3-inch display, but it still only had an 854 by 480 display, which gave you 228 pixels per inch. I remember for me, the biggest difference I noticed was the width of the actual second hand on the clock app between the Retina display and the non-Retina display. Like, that is crazy. Now, Retina display for Apple just means it's a display that when you hold your device at the normal distance you'd be using it, you can't see individual pixels. It's a marketing term, it's not a technical term, but it's also why Apple doesn't aim for standard resolutions, but they aim for pixel density. For example, the 14-inch MacBook Pro has a 3024 by 1964 display because they're not aiming for a standard laptop resolution, but instead aiming for a pixel density. And so when you combine a resolution that's higher than anything else on the market with a design that is this stunning, it's no wonder why the iPhone 4 and 4S are still seen as some of the most iconic iPhones of all time.